Today, we're going to talk about consistency and why it pays off. And as per usual, I am speaking from experience. Anything I speak about is usually from experience. And I can tell you from my experience that any time that I have not been consistent, I have not been able to stay the course. And a perfect example of that has been pretty much the last year and a half. The last year and a half, I have not been consistent with in my keto journey. Not saying that I haven't been doing well at different parts of the year and a half, but I have definitely not been on my normal game. My normal routine is keto is my lifestyle every day. And then once in a while, I just have a little, veer off or a little one and done, and or maybe a little vacation or something, but it's short and sweet, and I get back on. This last year and a half, I guess coming on 2 years, for everyone has been super stressful and just kind of like not our usual. And I have noticed myself that I just had a really hard time getting back to my usual routine fast enough. I guess that's it. Like I would eventually get to it, but it would take me a long time, and I really was off my consistency game. So that's what I wanted to chat with you guys here today. Hi Marjana. Great that you could come. Yeah, just a short little chat because in September, I am going to be having a 21-day consistency challenge. And so that's why I wanted to talk about this today, just gearing up for September, because I really do feel that consistency makes the biggest difference as far as us getting to our goals. And definitely, if you've gotten to the goal, keeping the goal. And I think it's so, I'll say it's sexy or, very enticing when we do things like we try new things. Okay. Like, I'm an experimenter. I've tried protein sparing modified fast. I've done fasting of all kinds. I even tried the egg fast way back when before I knew it was so unhealthy. You can find information in there in the guides as to why it's really not good for you. But I mean, I did try it way back when, a long time ago. I have tried everything, lower calorie, all kinds of things that I would consider on the stricter side. And though they really do help, and another one that's a real good one too is a 3-day bone broth cleanse, which I have the information in guide number 5. They're all good except for the egg fast. They're all really good, but they are not a lifestyle. They are not anything that you can possibly do consistently. I will say the caveat to that would be fasting. There are some people that have really incorporated fasting into their lifestyle, but again, that's where I'm going to caution you is making it part of your lifestyle that you can live with. So when I was saying about really strict, I was meaning like super strict fasting, like 3-day water fasts or longer and things like that, like the really strict stuff. You cannot keep it up. And so trying to figure out what a really good keto lifestyle is for you that feels really harmonious with your schedule, with your likes, with your enjoyment, with your happiness. I mean, that's super important. Then these other things that are kind of stricter, if you want to throw them in once in a while, just to kind of push you, just to kind of get you out of that plateau, or maybe you've kind of gone off and you want to get right back in again and it pushes you a little bit, that's great. But to think of them as, regulars in your life, it's going to be tough. Whereas consistency, even though it's not as, like I said, it's not as sexy, it's just your usual, keeping track of your macros and eating your healthy keto food. And it doesn't seem super exciting and you're not seeing maybe as big of dips on the scale and measurements. It is the one that is going to help you get to where you want to go. I'm telling you, I can tell you for someone who hasn't been doing it in the last over a year and a half that I do so much better when I'm as consistent as possible. Hi, Sean. I'm so glad you're here. And Marjana says, "Oh yeah, me too. Tried them all." Oh yeah. I mean, even before keto, I mean, honest to goodness, like name any diet in the world. I am sure that I have tried it. And also, just because I am a curious person, I also like to try a lot of like, sorry, my top keeps going down. It's not like I have a ton of cleavage or anything. And then all of a sudden I look and there's like cleavage there. Anyway, sorry. I digress. Yeah, so I have tried everything and health modality type stuff too. Like I've done colonics and I have done acupuncture and Ralphine. And I mean, honestly, like literally name something. And I'm sure I've tried it, but I'm a natural curious person. And I really like to see if, you don't know if something's going to work for you or if you're going to like it unless you try it. Right. So that part is the fantastic part. I guess the thing I really want to talk about was everyday consistency, or pretty much everyday consistency, versus not being consistent and then saying, okay, I'm going to do a 3-day fast, or I'm going to go really low on my calories for a while. I'm going to be super strict on my macros. Or I'm never going to have dairy, or, whatever the strict thing is. And I am here to tell you that just being consistent really will get you farther than these kind of strict things. The other negative I will say with the strict things that are hard to live with is the rebound effect. And I'm sure you guys can totally relate to this too, is that you do something really strict and then sometimes you kind of rebound because you're just like, your body really wants to make up for all those calories you didn't have, or the food that you deprived yourself of, or something like that. I don't know if you guys can attest to that. You can tell me if you have. But then you find, so then it's like you're kind of going two steps forward and one step back. And then, does that really help you? Marjana says, "Oh yeah, acupuncture on your earlobes. What was I thinking?" Well, I've actually never had acupuncture on my earlobes before, so that's interesting. Was that for migraines or something? I've heard people talk about that. But I actually do get acupuncture. Sidebar, I had a really bad shoulder injury. I did injure it, and then it was like seriously going on 2 years, and I could not get my rotator cuff to work. And someone had mentioned acupuncture, and I thought, I don't know, like if that would really work or not. But I went in with an open mind, and I went in there, and probably like 4 or 5 sessions in, it's like, wow, that is fantastic. My shoulder is actually totally better. So I can attest that it absolutely worked for my shoulder. And I've heard other people say that it's worked for all kinds of other things too. Sadie, absolutely been struggling with this for the last year. I totally get it. And that's why I wanted to bring this up now, because like I said, in September, I'm going to be having a 21-day consistency challenge. And I think a lot of people can really relate to this. Over the course of the last year and a half, it has been an extremely stressful time for all of us. And it has been I just can't believe it. Like when my first 2 years on keto, I was so consistent. I mean, once in a while I'd had a one and done and then get right back on it. It was no big deal. But this last year in particular has been a challenge. Like when we would do our 7-day macro tracking challenge, it was all I could do to be 100% consistent for those 7 days so that I could post for the challenge. That was even hard. Like 7 days was even hard. So that's why I wanted to do this 21-day challenge, because you know what they say, if it takes 21 days to make a new habit. And I feel like for a lot of us, that's where we're at right now. It's like we've allowed ourselves to not be consistent for so long. We've given ourselves that grace, and fair enough, been super stressful time, not judging whatsoever to me or to anybody else. But if you're feeling like you're really not where you want to be, it's consistency that is going to get you there. And I'm not saying that you can't have a little one and done here and there, but keep it short, keep it sweet, and get right back on again. I'm going to go back and read here. Sean says, my consistency level has fallen off really bad this year. I can't believe it's almost September. Don't know how I got so off track, maintaining but not progressing. Totally. Well, I will say that in situations like this, and especially if you've had like, oh, weird today, a lot of social things and a lot of stressful things, maintenance is a win. So please pat yourself on the back for the maintenance part. I can say for myself that I have not even maintained. I have definitely gained, and I'm not okay with that now. I am really not okay with that now. And looking back at everything I did, and I look back in my journals and my books, it was when I was consistent that I had my best success. And also, I felt like I was my happiest. There's nothing worse than feeling like, you've kind of gone off the rails, and then you kind of force yourself to do something really strict because you're, slightly punishing yourself. And also you're trying to get back, where you were before. And it's not fun. It's not fun at all. It feels like it's like really rough. It's like, being super high on carbs or something and then jumping right into like a really strict fast. It's like, it's painful. Being consistent really isn't painful. It actually just creates our lifestyle. And when we think of it as our lifestyle, it doesn't feel like deprivation whatsoever. It doesn't feel like, oh, I can't have blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, yay, I get to have steak tonight. And look at this awesome recipe that I came up with or something. It really changes your mindset too, I find. Okay, so I'm going to read, I don't know what, Facebook is being weird. And sometimes I can't read the people's name, but I'm going to read it on here, but it just says Facebook user, sorry. But it says, my son and I started together in December, and I did the highs and lows, super strict, big plan, then fall off. But he has just stuck with the same thing every day, except for the very rare day off. He's down 57 pounds, and I am still the same. Oh, that must be my sister. Okay, sorry. On here it says, but then as soon as I read the thing, it's like, oh yeah, I totally know that's my sister. Yes, my nephew, my sister's son, he has done amazing, and he has stayed the course. And you know what? I can say that for my son as well. Both of them started on this weight loss journey just after Christmas, and they decided that, they were sticking their nose to the grindstone, and they have done it. The two of them look absolutely amazing. They feel amazing. And I guess I could say, Lori, if you don't mind me saying this, is that that's kind of the difference between our sons and us, is that they have been consistent the whole time with just, once in a while having a well-deserved one and done, and absolutely totally fine. But then they got right back on immediately. And my sister and I are definitely more like this. And we have been. And that's how come they have been so successful and we have not been as successful. Hopefully you're okay with me saying that, Lori. I can speak for myself anyways. That's how I feel. Yeah, that was me, sis. Yeah. And so, it's kind of like, what is that? Like the tortoise and the hare or whatever. And that whole story, the one that goes really fast or whatever, but then, the tortoise is just going along and doing their own thing or whatever. And then it's the tortoise that ends up winning the race. And so I feel like, if that's what we do now, is just concentrate on like just getting back to basics, getting back to our keto basics or our low carb basics, knowing what really works for our bodies and really focusing on those things. I think also the happiness factor, I say this all the time, but it is so important. I cannot live without my fatty coffee, and I will not. I will not live without my fatty coffee. As it is, it really, really helps me with my ketones and my energy and my just how I can think and focus and all that kind of stuff. But I cannot do without it. So if that means that I alter, my day a little bit in order to have those extra calories, I'm going to do it because it makes me so happy. I get excited for my fatty coffee when I go to bed the night before. I'm already excited for the next morning for my fatty coffee. Anyway, I'm going to go back here. Marjana, it was for weight loss. Oh, Marjana, so did the acupuncture work for your weight loss at all? Did you find? That's an interesting thing. All of a sudden, everyone's going to be clamoring to get their acupuncture for weight loss. Mine was definitely for my shoulder. Sadie said the rebounds. Yes, the rebounds. Yeah, that's a hard thing. So anyways, that's really what I want to talk about today, because as usual, when I got something going on with me, I usually find that other people are feeling the same way too. And that's why I decided that we're going to have this 21-day consistency challenge in September. It's September the 7th. I posted about it. I've saved it in announcements if you want to look it up. I gave a little bit of information on there, but I'm definitely going to have more information as we get closer to the time. But I think that being able to be consistent for 21 days is going to make a huge difference for us. And what I would like to see for myself, and I can see other people in the group too feel the same way, but if we could make some really great gains until Christmas time. You know, when you take that time and that block of time, you say, okay, I've had a great summer, you know, we kind of gone all off or whatever, but if we could have a nice chunk where we say, yes, we're going to really focus. And I'm not going to tell you what we're going to do. Like in the consistency challenge, I'm not going to say to you, you need to fast or you need to, you know, do these macros or you need to eat these food. No, that is totally up to you what works for you, but it's being consistent every day. It's showing up every single day. And that's what this challenge is going to be about. Let's see here. Another one down here. I'm with you. Sean says, I'm with you. I tracked for a year daily. It was just a habit, but now I'm so lazy about it, except on tracking challenges. I'm more hungry regardless of the foods being keto, and I know I'm knocking myself out of ketosis with cheats, alcohols all the time, so I'm not losing. But sticking to it, ugh. I know. And I totally hear you because like I've said before, if I could live my entire life being lazy keto, I absolutely would because it's such a nice feeling. And on vacations and stuff, that's totally good. But on the regular, it really typically doesn't work for most people. And the reason being is that we're estimating and we don't know. And our carb load is getting a little bit high and we're teetering and it's making our blood sugar a little higher and it's making us kind of want to go for more than we should. And also, when you're not actually tracking something, I don't know about you, but the mental aspect is, oh, well, I can just have that, right? I can just have that because I'm not tracking. I do it all the time. But when I do the 7-day macro tracking challenge, it is absolutely no shocker to me that every single time I lose a nice chunk of weight, like every single time. Then after the challenge is over, I kind of go back to my lazy keto or whatever. And then once again, I'm just like this, or maybe even a little bit like this or whatever. So there's a reason for it. I know it's not always the funnest thing to do, but it really is what's going to get us where we want to go. And it really depends on where you are as well. Like I didn't feel like I was really ready in the summer. You know, we're still kind of in the summer here in Canada. But come September, I always feel like that's a hit it hard kind of month. It's the time where, you know, kids are back to school and you kind of feel like you're getting back into routine again. And that's why I thought we'll do the challenge in September and then everybody can really focus on it. You know, yes, September is like the new January. Yeah, that's what my sister said. Exactly. I feel like September and January are actually the two times that I really do focus in the group with our challenges because I find like that's usually when people need to kind of like get back into it. Yep, down 4 pounds every challenge. Yeah, I'm probably like that too. I'm about 4 to 6 pounds, and then it ends up going up, and then we do another challenge, and so I feel like I have lost and regained and lost and regained and lost and regained the same 4 to 6 pounds for like the last 6 months. And it's so frustrating. So it's not because I can't say, oh, keto's not working or whatever. It's I'm not working. Like I'm not working it. And that is it. I'm being honest with myself that I'm not working it. I'm not being consistent. I'm not doing the things that I know really work. And so, gee, shocker that I'm, you know, haven't lost any and I've gained some. So anyways, that's what's really the message today, and you know, coming up with a plan that you can live with as well. So anyway, when we do our challenge in September, everyone is totally free to do whatever they want, and if you want to do some strict stuff in there, that's totally fine, but every single day we are going to be consistent and we are going to show up, and I'm going to have a roll call, and you better get on there and you better check in or else I'm going to be hunting you down like a dog. Anyways, you guys, that's my message for today. Just consider the consistency. I don't know where you're at in your summer plans. If you feel like you're ready to kind of do it now, I am in it now. I have started now because I literally cannot stand myself any longer for what I've been doing. And so I have started now. And if anybody wants to join me, we can chat about it in the group. But the official consistency challenge will start September the 7th. But anybody that wants to just like get on track right now, do it. And even if it means just like going back to your, use your macro tracker and recalculate your macros and just get back to basics. You don't have to do anything fancy. Seriously, you don't have to do anything fancy. You just have to do the usual, just your usual keto. And actually compared to when you do really strict stuff, it's actually not really that hard, and it's actually really fun. And like today, I had a really great day today, and I have followed my macros totally fine. And I'm looking forward to, we're having ribs and salad for dinner, and I'm really looking forward to that, and a little keto chocolate treat after. And I've already got it all marked in. And it's funny because I'm actually like excited for food when I know that I've tracked it like that. Whereas when I'm kind of doing lazy, I don't get as excited for food, and I'm just kind of shoveling it in. Anyways, that's a sidebar. Sean says it works. We just aren't making it work for us. Totally. Right. That's totally it. Deborah, me too. I'm not working it. That's just it. Right. So here's the thing. We admit it. We admit it. I mean, it's just, we're not making excuses. We're not saying, oh, no, it's not working. We know it's going to work if we work it. So now we just have to get it up here, because honestly, that's the biggest part. And then just make a plan and just do it. So who's with me? Woo, woo. Let's do it. Anybody want to start now? Go for it. What did I say? So I just saw something about fatty coffee. I got excited. What did I say? Oh, I saw somebody said fatty coffee. I said fatty coffee, and then someone else said fatty coffee. Oh, Cheryl. Oh, hi. What is fatty coffee? Oh, Cheryl, let me tell you. Okay, when I get off here, I'm going to actually put my recipe in here so you can actually see it. You can do it however you want. I use my products. So I have a line of Intentionally Bare products. You don't have to use them. You can use anything you want. But here, I will show you what I use in my coffee. Don't mind me. I have to lean over. I wasn't prepared. But use an MCT oil. Mine's a pure C8, organic C8 oil. It's absolutely fantastic for cognitive function and energy and ketones. So I use 1 tablespoon of that. And then my MCT powder, which makes it really nice and fluffy. I've been using 2 tablespoons of that. But you guys can do whatever you want. You can use powder, you can use oil, you can use one of each, you can use both. Some people like to put butter in their coffee, however you like to do it. And you put it in your coffee and you blend it. That's the key there, Cheryl. You got to blend it. You can mix it, but it's not going to be as good. The oil is going to sit on the top. But if you blend it all, either like in a NutriBullet or a Magic Bullet or one of those little those little stir things that just, those little battery things, whatever they're called, even that is really good. And it blends it up, and it is so frothy. And all I can tell you, it is like heaven in a cup. That's all I can tell you. It's heaven in a cup. Add stevia if you like it sweet. Have it black if you don't. I mean, not black. Don't add stevia or monk fruit if you don't like it sweet. Some people add a little cinnamon. Oh my gosh, it's just so great. Yeah. So my routine is that's how I start my day, and that is my breakfast. And then I also have another one at lunchtime. Like I'll have my lunch, whatever that's going to be. Typically, to me, it's like a bone broth drink with collagen or something like that. And then I will have another one. That's usually my regular day. And then I'll have whatever macros are left for my dinner. But anyways, I will actually post in here a couple of recipes, Cheryl, just so that you can see after I get off here. But yeah, the fatty coffee really helps get your fat in. It really, really does. And especially when you're using MCTs. And like I said, you don't have to use my Intentionally Bare. You can use another one, but just when you're looking for a really good MCT oil, make sure that it shows on there what the breakout is between your C8, which is the best thing, and this one is 99.2% C8, and what the C10 is. If they don't give you the breakdown, so say, for example, I know that there's one at Costco, I've seen one at Walmart, whatever, and you probably see on Amazon or whatever, and they'll sell for, cheaper than mine. but they don't have the right amount of C8. You're getting hardly any, most of it is C12, to be honest with you. If they don't actually give you the breakout, I can almost guarantee you that it is almost totally C12, and it is not going to give you the ketones. It's not going to give you the energy, and it's not going to give you the mental clarity that you're going to get with a really good quality C8. So just please keep that in mind when you're looking for your oil as well as your powder. Anyways, that's how I make my fatty coffee. So I'm glad I saw that, because I saw fatty coffee. I got excited. Anyways, okay, you guys, it was really great chatting with you. I'm going to let you go. And I'm so glad that I was able to do this before the power went out, because now I can really hear it thundering out there. So it already went out once, and I was hoping that I could get through this without it going off again. So you guys, thank you so much for joining in. And I'll talk to you guys next week, and in the group, of course. Okay, have a good night. Bye, guys. Hey guys, before you go, hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the bell notification so you can be notified every time we have a new video posted. Also, down in the description, I will have links to everything that we talked about in our chat today, including information on how you can join my Intentionally Bare Keto support group. See you next time.